Hello and welcome back to Money Never Sleeps. My name is Timur from M&A Wealth. If you'd like more information about what you hear during the show, give us a call at 866-973-3627 or visit us online at mnawealth.com. And while at my website, click on the page to check out past shows and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Here's a question I want to start with today. When most people think about retirement planning, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most people, the answer is money, savings, whether the numbers add up. And that matters enormously because the financial foundation has to be there. But when you ask actual retirees what makes their retirement genuinely fulfilling, the answers get a lot more complicated than a balance sheet. Today I'm walking through 9 habits that research consistently ties to a happy retirement, and most of them have nothing to do with your account balance. Throughout the episode, we'll be discussing, highlighting, and referring to data and survey results from a recent Kiplinger article that's headlined 9 Habits for a Happy Retirement. Habit number 1, staying healthy. A MassMutual study on retirement happiness found that nearly half of the happiest retirees said they made their health a priority when planning for retirement, not just in retirement, but in advance. The CDC recommends around 150 to 300 minutes of moderate activity per week. That's a walk around the neighborhood most days. Walking 7,500 steps a day is associated with lower blood pressure, reduced dementia risk, better sleep, and improved mood. For people who want something more goal-oriented, guided walking tours like Spain's Camino de Santiago offer a structured challenge, or something closer to home like a local 5K for a charity you care about can work just as well. The Senior Games Association also runs state and national competitions for people 50 and older across everything from pickleball to swimming. The best exercise routine is the one you actually enjoy and will keep doing because consistency matters more than intensity. Habit 2 is social connection, and this one carries some of the most compelling research of anything we'll cover today. The Harvard Longevity Study, which is the longest-running study of adult life ever conducted, concluded that strong relationships are the single biggest predictor of health and happiness in later life. More than career success, more than diet or exercise. Loneliness is genuinely dangerous. University of Michigan polling found that more than a third of older adults experience feelings of loneliness at least once a week, and social isolation has been linked to higher rates of heart disease, dementia, and depression. Retirement removes a built-in social structure, the colleagues, the daily routine, the people you naturally saw every day. Rebuilding that takes intentional effort, game nights, book clubs, regular outings, staying involved in the community. That social scaffolding doesn't rebuild itself. Habit 3 is purpose. There's still a cultural image of retirement as total leisure with nothing on the calendar, zero responsibilities. And while rest is real and earned, research consistently shows that a sense of meaning is critical to long-term well-being. A nationwide Retirement Institute survey found that 97% of retirees with a strong sense of purpose reported being happy, compared to 76% of those without one. 2 big sources of purpose in retirement: work and volunteering. People 75 and older are now the fastest growing segment of the workforce, and many stay engaged simply because they want to and not just for financial reasons. A platform called Volunteer Match lets you search by city and interest area and even create a profile so organizations can find you based on your skills. Habit 4 is never stop learning. Ongoing mental stimulation is believed to help maintain cognitive function and may reduce the risk of dementia. The options are wide open. Maybe it's an instrument, a community college class, free university courses online, audiobooks through an app called Libby with just a library card. One study found that people with dementia who regularly did crossword puzzles delayed the onset of accelerated memory decline by more than 2 years. It can also be learning a new card game, picking up a second language through a free app, or finally going deep on a subject you've always been curious about. The goal is novelty. Keep your brain working on new things. If anything I've covered so far has raised questions about your own situation, give us a call at 866-973-3627 or visit mnawealth.com. Scheduling a consultation only takes a few minutes, and we're always happy to work around your schedule. Habit 5 is optimism, and the research here is genuinely striking. A study published in JAMA Network found that highly optimistic people were significantly less likely to suffer cardiovascular events and had a lower overall mortality rate. A separate study found that optimistic women had a 50% greater chance of living to age 85, and optimistic men a 70% greater chance. The important thing is that optimism can be developed. Consciously reframing situations, surrounding yourself with positive people, and taking breaks from the news cycle can, over time, shift the way your brain processes the world. Habit 6 is gratitude. Studies by psychologists Robert Emmons and Michael McCullough found that people who regularly counted their blessings had a more positive outlook, reported fewer physical ailments, exercised more, and were more likely to help others. Gratitude also reduces materialism, and people who practice it consistently report being more satisfied with what they have, which has real financial implications in retirement. Journaling is one of the most effective methods. In just a few minutes a day, writing down a handful of things you're grateful for. They can be big or small, like a professional milestone, a good conversation, or even your morning coffee. Habit 7 is pets. One study found that older dog owners who walked their dogs at least once a day got 20% more physical activity than people without dogs and spent about 30 fewer minutes a day being sedentary. There's also research suggesting that owning cats or dogs may help slow cognitive decline. The companionship factor is real too, because the bond with a pet can provide daily emotional support that genuinely rivals human interaction in terms of psychological benefit. If full-time ownership isn't practical, fostering is an option. Habit 8 is following the science on healthy aging, and that means being a smart, discerning consumer of health information. A 2023 study of 276,000 U.S. veterans identified 8 habits that, taken together, could add more than 2 decades to a person's life. Physical activity, not smoking, managing stress, eating well, avoiding regular binge drinking, good sleep hygiene, positive social relationships, and freedom from opioid dependency. These habits compound each other. Exercise improves mood, which supports optimism, which supports relationships, which reinforces purpose. It's a system and not a checklist. And dental, vision, and hearing health matter here too, because research ties unmanaged hearing loss and vision problems to increased dementia risk. Habit 9 is don't chase happiness directly, which probably sounds a little counterintuitive. But psychologist June Gruber at Yale has found that when people make happiness itself the primary goal, it tends to backfire. Expectations inflate, reality falls short, and people end up less satisfied than if they hadn't been fixating on it. Happiness tends to emerge as a byproduct of meaningful engagement and not as something you can just decide to have. Instead of asking, "Am I happy?" ask, "Am I building the kind of life that happiness comes from?" The 9 habits we've covered today are a practical answer to that question. Here's how all of this connects to the financial side. A solid financial plan isn't the destination, it's the foundation. When the numbers are in good hands, you free up the mental and emotional bandwidth to invest in your health, your relationships, your sense of purpose. You spend decades building up your savings, making careful decisions, staying disciplined. All of that is in service of a life worth living when the alarm stops going off every morning. The habits we've covered today are what fill that life. Working with a financial services professional who knows your full situation, monitors your plan, and adjusts as life changes is part of what makes it possible to focus on the rest. It's not just about portfolios and distributions, it's also about what retirement is actually supposed to look like for you. That matters, and having someone in your corner who can help you think through both the financial and the personal side of the transition is genuinely valuable. That's exactly the kind of conversation I'm glad to have. If you have any questions about your retirement magic number, your retirement strategy, or any other parts of your financial strategy, visit my website at mnawealth.com or call my office at 866-973-3627 to discuss how my team might be able to answer your questions and address your concerns. It's our goal to help you prepare for the retirement you've worked so hard for.
Disclosure. All matters discussed during the show are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed are solely those of M&A Wealth and staff. All topics covered are believed to be from reliable sources. However, M&A Wealth makes no representations as to its accuracy or completeness. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services to residents where permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through M&A Wealth, a registered investment advisor in the state of Texas. Insurance products and services are offered through PNC Life Insurance Agency, an affiliated company. M&A Wealth and PNC Life Insurance Agency are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any government agency.